turning it back to Shazam a little, because with Shazam having a huge opening weekend, we had Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson take to Instagram to, one, congratulate the team behind Shazam, which includes him because he was actually a producer on the film as well, I believe. But he also dropped a little something about the Black Adam movie, and he said that they should start shooting it in about a year. So there's that. But now that's not all. We also just had a report drop right before we started taping that we've got The Wrap reporting that screenwriter Henry Gayden, who also penned Shazam, is going to return for the movie's sequel. And they also say that the filmmaking team of David F. Sandberg and Peter Safran are expected to return as well. They don't say in what capacity, though. So for all we know, Sandberg will move to, I don't know, some sort of producerial capacity. I hope that's not the case. But so now we have a potential timeline for Black Adam, and we also have Shazam 2 moving forward. Which do you think we're going to get first?
I think we'll get Shazam 2 because I think that'll open the door to Black Adam. Like you said, they already set it up in the first Shazam movie. In the very beginning, it's talking about Black Adam. I think with the Mr. Mind and everything going forward for Shazam 2, the next will be unearthing Black Adam. And then that'll set up his solo film as to play the catch-up. Unless they want to do Black Adam first and have him be the bad guy, but he's supposed to be an anti-hero now. So unless you want to do Black Adam first, then go to Shazam 2. It's a couple of ways you can do this. Of course, it's 50-50, but it depends on how they want to structure it. I
was surprised when I saw that video that he posted when he said, because it's not even like he said, oh, we're shooting it in a year from now. We're shooting it April 2020. It was like, I think we're shooting it. It sounded like a little wishy-washy. So I'm like, oh, that's weird. After Shazam was so successful right out the gate, I thought that they would have, you know, pushed forward faster on that. So that was kind of getting me a little confused. Then all of a sudden the news dropped about Shazam 2, and I'm like, oh, maybe they're going to move forward with that faster, fast track that, because also The Rock is a very busy guy. Maybe they will fast track that, and then when The Rock frees up, then it'll be Black Adam.
Well, it's the same thing with, like, I'm sorry, Haley. That's like the same thing with Aquaman. Remember at first, once they did those numbers, Aquaman 2's happening, and then we got told we're getting the Trench spinoff. So I think it's sort of the same type of deal. They're, of course, like, yeah, the sequel to the movie is coming. That's a guarantee. Now, how long it takes for them to go into production and, you know, bring all the cast back is a whole nother situation.
Another thing that actually just crossed my mind is they have the pressure to get Shazam 2 going fast because those kids are only going to stay kids for so long.
There's a whole host of factors as well. We just touched on like 3 of them. There's also the matter of like budgets, which I would assume that a Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson film is going to have a much bigger budget, whereas we saw with this, as we talked about briefly, they made it a mid-budget superhero movie, which then they can roll into faster probably if they're planning to stay on that same. Yeah. If they, you know, they just got a win out of that budget, so why would they then boost it up a huge bunch?
We saw that with Deadpool 2, remember?
Exactly.
And we saw what happened with the film, how people received it. It was like, why did you do that?
Yeah, I think that they're gonna play it smart, follow up on this buzz that they've got, follow the formula that they just saw work for them. We all know that New Line, through their horror efforts, has no problem turning out sequels pretty quickly. You know, the Conjuring franchise is a well-oiled machine at this point. So I would put my money on Shazam 2 first, and above all, because Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is so freaking busy. Yeah. You just can't get Dwayne Johnson quickly. Even though he's been attached to this project for years and years and years, he's always attached to like 15 things, and it's a matter of which one actually solidifies first.
But I think Black Adam for him is this thing he's been wanting. Right. And I understand, yeah, once he got involved in the Fast and Furious franchise, that took over. No one expected Jumanji to be what it was. So, of course, he had to hurry and film the sequel to that. And he's had these other films. Yes, he's busy, but I think he wants this now more because of the success of Shazam. You would definitely want this to go forward. He's been talking, he wants to be this superhero. You get to be it in a sense. Go for it. You can put these other projects on a back burner that aren't requiring that much attention yet, because everything we know that Dwayne Johnson is attached to, we know is coming out. We know what he's doing. We know he's already working on them. We haven't heard of anything separate yet, and I don't think he would let this keep going, because at some point, nobody's going to care. If it gets to the point where we start going 2-3 more years and we still don't have a Black Adam movie, at this point it's like, don't do it, or have somebody else play him.
I don't know if I would go that far just yet. I think maybe it's because it's been drilled in my head for so long, and because, you know, especially as someone who doesn't know the source material too well, it's like I've been picturing Dwayne Johnson as Black Adam for a little while, and I really want to see that movie. But like, I kind of hear what you're saying, just with how much, let's say, just in my personal case, I fell in love with Shazam.
Right.
I've got no problem waiting for Dwayne Johnson's Black Adam movie because I am beyond thrilled that there is Shazam 2 in the works right now.
I can see that, but it's just, how long are we willing to wait on something we've been hearing about for so long? And yes, I get it. It's The Rock. I get it. So
I have a feeling that many out there will be willing to wait for quite a while, especially if Shazam 2 comes out and it's as good as the first one.
Fair.
Also, without getting into any spoilers right now, obviously they're setting up a little bit of a connectivity here. So I think they've got time to maybe even build on that a little more before they loop him in. And then on top of that, I mean, just think of all the upcoming DC movies we have to look forward to. It's like, before we know it, our attention could be completely diverted by another big hit for them. So it's not like they have a lack in material coming our way.